Hey everybody, Josh Peck here. Hope you're doing well. Really huge development has happened in the realm of quantum technologies. This is something that I've been writing about forever. Really, ever since I got into ministry, my first real breakout book was called Quantum Creation. And it's all about quantum physics, Christianity, the Bible, how all these things connect. When we talk about quantum reality, we're really just talking about the basic building blocks of reality itself. And it's really cool to study that because we get to see like what God created to create everything else. And what's really interesting about quantum reality, just quantum creation, is that what we think of as tiny bits of matter, fundamental particles where you can't break them down any further, they're not actually particles. It's not actually matter. It's energy. They're little energy spikes. So that's really cool. And what's really cool about that is the question comes up, well, where does that energy come from? Now, if you get an honest, one of the more honest physicists, as far as they usually take it is, well, we don't know, but it's got to be something from outside of our 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time. If you get an honest one, they'll say that. Usually they just dodge the question or say something else because they don't want to even, many of them don't even want to tread on ground that sounds like pro-God or Christian or the Bible or anything like that. But really that is where it comes from. That is coming from God. It is his eternal call of creation, his eternal shout, let there be. His eternal command, and that is still sustained today, and we can actually study that, which is just mind-blowing to me. But as like with any technology, it comes with risks, it comes with dangers. These quantum computing technologies could absolutely be used in the most horrendous ways possible by people who don't have everybody else's best interests at heart. In my book, Return of the Watchers, which I have right here, I talk about this day that experts, politicians, global leaders have a lot of fear about. It's called Qday. And basically what that is it's the day where quantum computing becomes not even commercially available. It doesn't even have to be commercially available, but it becomes available enough where anybody with bad intents can use quantum computing to hack or break into any computer in the world, any government's computer, any banking system, because a quantum computer can do that. All of our encryption, which protects all that stuff, it's based on these impossibly difficult prime number calculations, whereas a normal computer to do the calculation would take, thousands of years. It's usually what you hear. A quantum computer can do it in a matter of seconds or minutes. The problem is all of our stuff is encrypted like that, and to change that encryption, to make it what's called quantum resistant, it's such a difficult task, and Qday is approaching faster than the day that we have the protections in place for these. So it's sort of like this, and the problem is because everybody's on the internet all the time. So it would be like if you found out some criminal organization had a skeleton key to New York City. They found a key that can open up every single door whenever they want in New York City. Banks, houses, anything. So New York City has to change all of the locks and make them resistant to this skeleton key. But how do you do that when everybody's going in and out of every building? New York City's huge. You got to do it with every single lock. It's just an impossible task. Well, that times what, like 1 million is what the internet would be? You'd have to change the encryptions of everything. And Qday is coming faster than that. So I wrote about that in Return of the Watchers and a bunch of other things that have a lot of prophetic significance. If you want to know how it is the Antichrist can gain so much power so fast, I think the answers are available to us now because of this emerging technology. It's not even emerging really anymore. It's just here. But that's what I wanted to talk about today. And then today's going to be a little bit of a shorter video. I don't know. I haven't planned this one out, so we'll see. But I have some announcements that I want to make after we talk about this topic, so stick around for that because it has a lot to do with the future of Daily Renegade, Renegade Publishers, my personal life. There's some big changes, but ultimately, I think it's going to be good stuff, and we're going to trust in God with it. But it's also going to explain a couple changes that you might see on this channel for a brief amount of time. So not forever, but for a brief amount of time. So let's just get into it, and then we'll talk about that later. So here is the story. This is from Reuters. Trump signs orders calling for powerful quantum computer targeting 2028. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, we kind of have to do it because our enemies are doing it. And if we don't have the protections in place, if we don't develop this technology and have the protections in place, we could easily be taken over by China or anybody else that develops this faster than we do. So I'm probably going to have some criticisms of this, but I do want to at least make mention I understand kind of the need for it. Sort of, but I also, on a much larger scale, can completely understand why the demonic realm or the kingdom of darkness would want to inspire us to develop this technology so that they can use it against us, or that we end up using it against ourselves and destroying ourselves. So there's a lot of different areas to really think about this, which is why I'm curious when we get through the story, what you think about it, what you draw from it, what your opinions are, and it'd be great if you'd leave those in the comments and let me know. But so the story is Washington, June 22nd. So this is literally yesterday. At the time of this recording, U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday ordered a push to build a powerful quantum computer for science research and speed efforts to protect government systems from related cyber threats, bolstering U.S. efforts in its race with China for a technology that could upend science and cybersecurity. So right there is exactly what I was talking about. Protect government systems from related cyber threats. They're talking about Qday. I don't know if this article mentions Qday specifically, but that's what they're talking about. And if you already have Return of the Watchers, if you got that book, then you have been aware of this for a while. So you're ahead of the curve. That's where we as Christians really need to be. We need to be ahead of this stuff. So when it does happen, we can be prepared and teach others how to be prepared. So Michael Kratsios, director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, said in a call previewing the moves and referring to the quantum computer, quote, "We believe this can happen by 2028. So that's pretty soon. Trump signed 2 executive orders, one of which seeks to protect government computers against quantum computer-fueled cyber attacks by setting a goal of migrating key government computer systems to post-quantum cryptography by 2030 or 2031. Now, that absolutely needs to be done, and if that's all it was, I probably would be fully in support of this, if that's all it was. But as we know, that's not ever all it is. It's like when they said that they're not going to put any kind of restrictions on AI and just let AI run rampant. Like that's not good. If they're like, we're going to develop it to the point that we can, make sure we're protected against our enemies, great. All in favor of that. But that's not all this is going to be. So it says quantum computers use the laws of quantum physics to process information in ways that can solve certain complex problems far faster than even today's supercomputers. That's that encryption that I was talking about, how they use these really large, really difficult math problems involving prime numbers that most computers can't calculate in a lifetime. Quantum computers can do it in seconds. They could unscramble the encryption that protects computers from hacking, raising fears of aggressive cyber attacks. The orders underscore the importance the Trump administration places on securing U.S. leadership in the quantum race against China, which could fuel advances in artificial intelligence, material science, and chemistry, while also protecting against the cyber security threats posed by the technology. Yeah, and that's another thing. Quantum computing mixed with AI could get so powerful that it could literally teach humans how to create weapons that we could not fathom. Doesn't that sound like exactly what happened during the days of Noah, as the book of Enoch describes it, where fallen angels came down and taught mankind weaponry and things that they didn't know, and they learned warfare and stuff because of that. Doesn't that sound exactly like what Jesus told us to watch out for, the days of Noah, when we're in the end times? The fact is, we just live in really unpredictable times, and unfortunately, the economy is not immune to that. In fact, it's a really great idea to convert some of your savings into real money. I've done this myself for my family to protect us. Now, what a lot of people don't understand, there's a big difference between what we call money, which is actually currency. So our dollar is currency, which fluctuates, but real money, like silver, is actually a store of value over time. So the best way to think of it is like this. If you had saved $1,000 in cash back in the late 1960s, that $1,000 would still be $1,000, but it would buy you significantly less today due to inflation. But if you had saved the same $1,000 in silver back in the 1960s, it would be around $28,000 or even more today. So one of the best ways to protect your purchasing power is in real money, more specifically silver, and Cornerstone Asset Metals is the only company that I trust for this. They run it like a ministry. So you can actually buy and have the metals shipped discreetly to your door, and what most people don't know is that you can actually convert your IRA or even a 401k into physical silver rather than having all your life savings tied up in the paper fiat system, which is subject to hyperinflation. So you can go to cornerstoneassetmetals.com to sign up to get your free silver report. One of the financial experts will speak with you to find the best way to protect your savings going forward in these uncertain times. Also, don't forget to tell them that Josh Peck from Daily Renegade sent you. That is cornerstoneassetmetals.com. You can find that link in the description below. Now back to what I was saying. And that's why this is so important, because, a computer can be used to get into your bank account and steal all of your money, and they can hide it especially with this quantum technology. They can hide it to where you don't even know who stole it. So who can you prosecute? They can't really do that if you have a bunch in like silver in your home, or in a bank, or not like a bank, but I mean like Cornerstone. They'll actually hold on to it for you if you want, or you can just have it shipped to your house. But that's why that's so important, because I think that's going to be one of the first dominoes. Is people are going to start losing all of their money because these quantum technologies, which exist now, are going to allow for thieves to do that without being traced. Because while the quantum technology exists now to do that, we don't have the encryption, the quantum resistant encryption in place. And by what this article says, we might not have it till 2030 or 2031. That's years away. We need this now. We should have been working on this years ago, but that's where we're at. So we have to know that, so we know how to protect ourselves. Cornerstone is one way to do that. I would encourage you to give them a call, talk to them about this stuff, and pray about it. And like I've said many times, I don't suggest things to you guys that I don't do myself or that I think could help. I go through Cornerstone myself, and we put a lot of our savings into silver, and we're really glad that we did. Okay, so it says the order also calls for the Pentagon to deploy quantum sensors by 2028. Such sensors can help aircraft navigate in war zones where global positioning systems have been disrupted, and when put in satellites, could also be used to detect underground activity such as the construction of tunnels or missile silos from space. Now, we have to be careful, because a lot of times when something is rolled out like this, they will tell you the best parts of it, but they never tell you how it could be misused or what could be wrong with it. They only tell you the best things that could come out of it. But we know if something can be misused, it 100% will be. So Matthew Kinsella, CEO of Inflection, who attended the signing of the order in the Oval Office, said, quote, "There's lots of interesting things quantum sensing can bring before quantum computing. It's possible to meet these types of timelines. See, again, even though, I mean, 2028, this doesn't have much to do with the encryption. This is about satellite systems and stuff like that. But even 2028 is a long time away in terms of how fast this technology advances. Man, and again, it's like we're in this mess of it. I don't even know that there is a really good solution out there. But it says last month, the Commerce Department announced it would take $2 billion in equity stakes across 9 quantum computing companies, including a new IBM venture. One of the orders also aims to strengthen international cooperation on intellectual property protections and supply chain security measures. Quote, as Kretcio said, quote, in light of competitors and adversaries looking to undermine U.S. economic and national security, end quote. And that's happening all the time. Another measure included in the package instructs agencies to develop plans for deploying quantum-enabled sensors and networks in the next 5 years. All of this is stuff like, okay, they're telling us the good stuff. They're telling us the stuff of how this is going to protect us and everything. But for one thing, I think this is too little too late for the protection side of it. Not that we shouldn't try. I mean, it's better to start late than to never start, but I don't think that this is going to be as protective as they're thinking it's going to be. Plus, you have to remember their timelines. A lot of times they say that things can happen a lot faster than they actually end up happening. So who knows if we're even going to get anything like this. But like I said, if it was only that, if it was only just beefing up protections and doing that, I'd be on board with it. But it's suspicious that this is all just good stuff, and there's no comment whatsoever about how it could be misused and how they're going to defend against that. There's no mention of that at all. Usually, when I see that, it's because they know bad stuff is going to happen. They don't know how to get around it, or they want to do it. And so all you're going to hear is the good stuff. Like again, in Return of the Watchers, a lot of the hybridization programs that we have now, making the woolly mammoth de-extinct. And so we have to create woolly mice, which is a complete abomination against God, that we actually have these in existence and we're creating these. When you read, and it's colossal biodynamics or something like that. When you read their explanation of everything, it's all good. It's all good stuff. It's through rose-colored glasses. They never talk about how this could be misused and what plans they have in place to make sure that doesn't happen. They've even talked about releasing the direwolf. It's a hybrid creature. It's not a de-extinct direwolf. It's a creature that was never supposed to exist. But they've even talked about someday releasing that into the wild. So this is not all good stuff. When they speak of it, it's like the brain chip, Neuralink. You hear all the good stuff about it, but you don't hear about the stories about like monkeys trying to scratch their brains out because they can't handle the chip, or you don't hear all the horror stories around it. You only hear the good stuff. You got to be real suspicious of that, because every technology can be misused. And if a company is not willing to talk about that and is not telling you, look, we're developing this technology. Now, yes, this can be misused in these ways. We're aware of it. And to build trust with you, these are our plans to combat against that. You never hear that, and I'm not hearing it here. And then come to find out, those bad things do happen. The slippery slope thing. It always happens. Think about when, if you're old enough, think about when the internet first came online and people started using it. There was a lot of concerns. Specifically around like trafficking and pornography and using it for like hitmen and all this stuff. And real world people like you and I had concerns like that. I mean, I was really young. I was a kid, but real world people had concerns about that, but it never got addressed. And it was rolled out and people had full access to it. And look what it's become. Some great things have come from the internet. The fact that I'm even able to do this video right now is because of the internet. But some absolutely horrific things have come from it too. And it's like, is it worth it? Trafficking, and I mean, people have died over it. Is it worth it? So I don't put a lot of faith in a government or company when when I know any technology that comes out is going to be misused, and when they won't admit that on their own, and when they don't have a plan in place for how to combat against that when it does happen. I don't have a lot of faith in it. So I'm suspicious of this whole thing, but that's where I believe we have to take personal responsibility for ourselves and our own families to take care of ourselves and each other. We can't rely on the government to do it. I think it's best to assume things are probably going to get pretty rough. What that means, I don't exactly know. We can make some guesses. I don't think our financial institutions are going to be secure. They're already not. So I think if we can, it's a good idea to get our money out of there as much as we can. But also think about everything that's run by computers. I mean, supply chains. Like, if China gets a hold of this technology before we do, they could launch attacks. Don't always mean like missiles and bombs and stuff. I mean, sometimes, but they could launch an attack where they just freeze up our supply chains. And I've asked this before. How long can you and your family live on what you have in your house right now? Like, if you could not leave, I'm not even saying you're not able to leave, just like if it was pointless because the stores are, they can't, the supply chains are frozen. The stores can't get the stuff. They've already been looted because people have panicked. You don't want to leave because it's dangerous because people are crazy. How long can you and your family survive with what's in your house right now? And that is a very sobering question, and one that we all need to ask, because that is a possibility. That is a very real possibility that would cripple the nation probably more than nuking an American city. That would be devastating too. But if you can use a quantum computer and AI or just whatever to just freeze or just completely mess up all of our computers because we don't have the encryptions in place, that would be the way to do it. That'd be the easy way to do it. And then they can just come in and take over. So, and we also have to wonder, why is it that we don't find America explicitly in Bible prophecy? There's a lot of countries in Bible prophecy. There's only one place where possibly America might be, but there's good arguments for it and against it. It's the whole Gog-Magog thing in Ezekiel. It's the young cubs of Tarshish or something like that? Maybe. But even if that is America, and there's people who don't think it is, but even if it is, America must not be a very big player because it's barely even in that. What happens? Some say the rapture. That very well could be. We got a ton of Christians in America. I think America would be more devastated than just about any other country I can think of when the rapture happens. So it could be that. But it could be maybe we're already taken over by then. So what do we do? Well, we have to prepare now. Now is the time. And it's better to be prepared and not need it than to not be prepared and really need it. You know, with everything happening in the world today, it's really impossible to know when or where the next disaster will strike. It makes sense why the Bible is full of passages telling us how important it is to be prepared. And that's why Daily Renegade has partnered with My Patriot Supply, not only for my own household, but to help all of you as well. Just click on the links in the description below for access to emergency food, survival supplies, and even generators so that when the next disaster hits, you won't be unprepared. Now, you know me, I don't ever suggest anything to you guys that I don't use myself or believe would be beneficial to you. And My Patriot Supply makes it really easy to protect yourself and your family right now. There really isn't any excuse for not being at least minimally prepared, so check out those links in the description below and give your family the peace of mind that no matter what comes along, you'll be ready. Now back... All right, whoops, I cut that off a little early. All right, well, you've seen that commercial before. All of the links are in the description below. And again, the reason that I bring that up, I get accused all the time of just wanting to make money, and I'm not going to lie to you, I do get it's not enough to make a living on at all. I do get a little bit from that if you order from my links. As an affiliate, I get paid a little bit on that. Not enough to. It's not enough to make a living on, let alone get rich off of. So that's not the point. And I've also promoted things that I don't make any money off of before. So my intention is, hey, I use these things. I believe they can help. If you want, here's how to do what I did. if you're interested. If not, that's fine. But I would say at least, take it up with God and see what God wants you to do, because everybody should be prepared. Everybody should have some kind of plan in place. You don't have to follow my exact plan with everything, but you do need a plan. I think pretty much the vast majority of people that are watching me know that we're living very close or in the end times. It depends on how you define end times. We're not in the tribulation yet, but I believe we're in the time right before that. And it's going to get bad. Now, it's not going to get as bad as in the tribulation, but birth pains can be really, really bad. And also, we just entered the final jubilee of our age of grace, which, if you're interested in that, I don't want to get into it too much here, but I've done many videos on it. Plus, I have a 2-volume book set, Forgotten Prophecies of the Dead Sea Scrolls, which gets all into that. But we're in that final 50 years. And think about the final 50 years of the Torah age, which would have been between 26 AD and 76 AD. Jesus came very early in that Jubilee, but look at all of the craziness. Just people going nuts, people slaughtering each other over little theological differences. All of the rampant evil just everywhere. It sounds a lot like today, and I think in some areas, in real world areas, it's only going to get worse. I do believe that we're going to see more miraculous things as well. But knowing that this time is coming, it's like the Joseph thing and the 7 years of plenty and all that. Knowing that this time is coming, or even just accepting that it's possible that this time is coming, we have to have a plan. We have to be prepared. That's why I promote Cornerstone, my Patriot Supply. But if that's, pray to God, follow God with what God wants you to do. Keep up on this information. If you haven't had a chance, make sure you subscribe, click the bell to turn on all notifications, share this around. And also, I'd like to know what you guys are doing to prepare. And, it doesn't have to be a scenario where the whole grid goes down. That could happen. It could be something small. I mean, remember COVID. There were a ton of people that were not prepared for that. And that messed up a lot of people's lives. And that, even though it was a big deal, that was relatively minor compared to what this could turn into. So again, it's not fear-mongering or anything. I don't want anybody to be afraid, but I want you to handle it soberly and to have some kind of plan, some kind of preparation in place. I think that's biblical. To make it a little easier, I provided what I'm doing, but again, as long as you got something in place, I think that's good, and that's in line with what the Bible teaches us to do, to be prepared. Okay, yeah, again, don't forget to check out all the links in the description below. All of that stuff really does help everything that I'm doing with Daily Renegade, and we're trying to help people as much as we can and talk about things that in most churches you're not going to hear. Maybe a few, but most you're not going to hear. A lot of Christians don't want to talk about this stuff, and so where do you go? Where do you go for information? You can either spend all your time trying to research it yourself, but if you have a 9-to-5, that's going to be really difficult. Or you can get the information from a trustworthy source. And I hope throughout the years that I've been that to you, and I've earned your trust. I'm going to continue to do so. So if you could subscribe, share it around, click the bell to turn on all notifications, that'd be great. Okay, a couple of just quick announcements before we wrap up here, and please stick around through this because it's important. So where do I want to start? So for a little while, I'm not going to be posting videos every single day, as you probably already noticed. I've been doing I'm still doing Sharpening Report every week. Every Friday, 5 p.m. Central on YouTube, but you can always get early access to that if you're a member at dailyrenegade.com, or if you've signed up at joshpeck.substack.com, or if you clicked the join and did a membership deal on youtube.com/@dailyrenegade. Then you'll always get early access to those. So that's not changing. But as far as the daily videos, I am working on a new book. A very large project. It has the potential to be the most impactful and biggest release that I've ever been involved with. I'm not saying it will be. It has the potential. It depends on a few things. We'll see, but I really believe in it. I'm working with a co-author, and it's somebody who you likely have not heard of yet, although his YouTube channel's a lot bigger than mine. But of course, YouTube isn't everything. But not only that, but he very good writer, very brilliant person, solid guy, and I'm trying to think how much I really want to say. I don't even want to say what the topic is just yet. But I will say the entire book is written now, except for just a couple really small little parts. The whole book's written. It's long, so it's probably going to be split into 2 volumes again, like I did with Forgotten Prophecies of the Dead Sea Scrolls. I think it's going to need to be. Otherwise, it's going to be like an 800 or 900 page book. But don't worry, the information isn't going to be over your head. Actually, my co-author does, like, whenever I write, I try to write really relatable, but sometimes I'll get from people like, that still was over my head. So my co-author is even more, what's the word, relatable, conversational in his writing. He's more personable than I am in his writing, and he does a lot of the writing in this book. I'm doing some of the writing, but I'm doing the editing, formatting, all of the stuff that once you have a book, all of the, Renegade Publishers, that's what Renegade Publishers is for. And all of that stuff. So we're in that phase now. The rough draft's completely done. I'm getting it into one document and formatting it, editing it, and we're going to get that out as soon as possible. So I need time to do that, because that's a lengthy process. And like I've said before on this channel, as of now, I don't have employees. This is just me. And that brings me to another point. And I've been wondering how to kind of phrase this, or how to word it, or how to, because the last thing that I want is for rumors to start getting spread, or people saying that things happened that absolutely didn't happen. So a lot of you, I know you're subscribed to Prophecy Watchers, and you're subscribed to their newsletter and on Facebook and all that stuff. Well, if you are, then and they've made this completely public, then you know that there have been some financial difficulties because they had like some HVAC units break down, and it's just been, and just 2026, like the economy, it's just, it hasn't been a good financial year for anybody. And so my role there was like special projects, basically. So, documentaries, just like extra stuff, not like a core. I didn't have a position where it's like, okay, well, if we lose that guy, the ministry can't even run. There are people there that are like that, where if they lose that person, the ministry can't run. Like, it'll put everybody's jobs at stake. And so they kind of hit that crossroads. We kind of hit that crossroads. And so we had a conversation, and all totally mutual, all good. But because I'm also trying to run 2 businesses while having a 9-to-5 at Prophecy Watchers, and that's kind of impossible. So just in talking about it, I don't want to get too much into a lot of the details, and I'm trying to be careful because I'm just trying to say what stuff was put in that newsletter. But just after talking, and I made the decision. I think that it's, and by the way, they didn't like put this on me. It's just after talking, I made the decision. I think it's going to be best for everybody if I take some time to focus on my 2 businesses and try to grow that as much as I can, and work with Prophecy Watchers, just not like on the payroll. Like so I'm still, like, they're still going to promote my books. I'm still going to go on panels and do shows with them and things like that. Like, nothing about that is changing at all. But after I thought about it, I don't, if keeping me on means that the rest of the staff there could be at risk, especially the core staff that really keeps that engine running, I don't want to do that. And there really wasn't a way for me to stay and that not be a risk, if that makes sense. So again, I stepped back from Prophecy Watchers, but I'm still going to be on the show and everything. No hard feelings. Everything's fine. They love me. I love them. I'm still going to promote them on here. There's absolutely zero bad blood about it. It's purely, as they even mentioned in that newsletter, purely a financial deal. And I didn't have to leave. Like, nobody forced me to leave or anything like that. Nobody guilt tripped me. It was not like that at all. It was just, hey, Josh, let's talk because here's the situation. Let's all figure out what the best solution for everybody is. And after talking about it, that's the conclusion that, really, I mean, we all came to, but I came to because, after we talked, I even said, well, let me have some time to pray about it and talk about it. And because there was a plan if I wanted to stay, there was a plan to make that work. But I just, with everybody else there, it's just, it seems too financially risky, and I don't want to put that on other people. So that's the deal with Prophecy Watchers. So I'm not technically on the payroll, but we're still very much ministry partners. They still want to promote my books. I still want them to carry my material. We're still going to be working together and doing stuff. Me and Mondo talked about a documentary that I want to do involving some of his work with the with his observatory and the outer space and all that. So we have plans. But I'm just not on the payroll anymore. So if you just before any kind of rumors get out or before anybody says something that didn't happen or whatever, I wanted to address that. So that's already taken place. That's been in effect for, I don't know, a couple of weeks or so, maybe a little longer now. But what that does, though, is it frees me up to work on projects like this. Like this project with this 2-book thing, I've actually been working on this with this co-author for, oh man, over a year by now, maybe longer. And, but now I can actually really focus on it. I have other things too. I have 2 documentaries that I have fully filmed. I just need time to edit them. One I can say is on the pre-trib rapture, and it's got experts like Dr. Tommy Ice is in this, Andy Woods, Lee Brainerd, Gary Stearman. I mean, we have like 7 or 8 of the biggest experts in this field about the pre-trib rapture. And so I really want to get that out after this book. And I have a third thing too, a brand new thing that I'm trying, where it's going to be a digital download bundle, basically, like a digital download package. So instead of getting a physical DVD, because here's the problem with physical DVDs, I'm still going to offer them, but it's really an outdated technology now. And sometimes when somebody buys a DVD, it doesn't work in their DVD player because their DVD player is outdated. And there's just nothing that can be done about that. That just is how it is. So everything that I'm going to do is it's going to be available on DVD, but it's going to be available on streaming as well. But this digital package, and by the way, streaming is going to be renegadepublishers.com. You can stream stuff right now there. I've got one teaching video on there. But so it's all going to be on there. But this digital bundle is something that I'm trying that's a little different because everything's going streaming, everything's going digital. So it'll be through dailyrenegade.com, but it's going to be a UFO disclosure package, basically how Christians should look at the whole disclosure issue. And I don't want to say everything that's in it now because I don't want anybody stealing my idea. But I'm also really far enough. This is a big job. It's 4 different videos, and it's going to be 4 different PDF downloads, including study guides, things you can do group studies in with all of this stuff. There's going to be a massive, if you're at a church or a small group and you want to take a few weeks to go through this entire course, it's kind of like a course. You can go through that, but there's going to be an intro briefing by me. I'm doing a presentation teaching in one area. I'm doing a documentary in one other area. And then I also have a presentation from somebody else that I'm going to be providing commentary for. All of these have study guides with them and a whole bunch of materials with them. It's not just me. L.A. Marzulli is involved with this. Ricky Scaparo from End Time Headlines, he's involved with this. So it's not only me. You're going to get stuff from them as well. But it's a big project, and it's something brand new that I have never done before. And I want time to make that really good, because if that does well, if that succeeds, I could see doing digital packages like that for a lot of different subjects. And more and more and more people want the digital stuff because they can access it anywhere. They can just go on their computer. You don't need to worry about what DVD player you have. You don't need to worry about if it's going to be compatible. You don't have to worry about any of that. And then it's just always available. So I was thinking about doing that, and then maybe down the line, if somebody wanted a physical thing that has it on there, maybe I could do thumb drives or something. Some people do that, but that's some of the plans I have in place. I have others as well. I have so many things that the ideas I have, things I want to do, like things that I want to provide to you guys, and I just have not really had the time to do it. Because of the 9-to-5 commitment to Prophecy Watchers, and obviously there's nothing wrong with that. I've absolutely enjoyed my time there. So I've been there for a couple of years, and I've loved everything about it. I have no complaints. I can't think of any complaints. Everybody there has been absolutely great. They've welcomed me into the family. They made sure to let me know, like, this isn't like, we're not kicking you out, like, you're still part of the family. So it's all good. And also, when I first started in ministry, I wanted to eventually get to this point anyway. I've always wanted to get to the point where I could just be my own boss, make my own hours. And especially now with my family, it's the perfect time for it. There's so much. Now there is a risk, because I'm losing a big chunk of finances through this. So I'm trying to supplement that with these other projects. So please keep me in prayer. That's literally the only thing that I'm even a little nervous about. But I know God's got it. I know this is God's plan. But with my family right now, so many of you know, some of you might not, because I still get questions about it sometimes. My son Nathan last November passed away from cancer, and in a couple of months or so, a little bit more, we're going to be coming up on the 1-year anniversary of that, and I know that's going to hit my family really hard. So I think it's just really important that I be there. I need to be able for at least a little while, for at least now. I need to be able to make my own hours, set my own schedule. I just need to be able to do that. I have to put my family first. Now, part of putting my family first is providing for them, so I have to make the money too. But yeah, with the whole passing of Nathan thing, the 1-year anniversary coming up, which, by the way, I should mention here, I'll turn on the lower thirds because I think the information eventually comes up, but we do still have his Give, Send, Go available for any lingering medical, funeral costs, just anything like that. If anybody's ever been through that, then you know how incredibly expensive it is and how much that can just financially ruin you. And so we do still have that up. We're still accepting donations until we reach our goal, and we're almost there. And that's all listed at the Give, Send, Go page, or you can donate PayPal. I think there's a Cash App thing. There's a P.O. box, which I need to update, because in a couple of weeks we're switching P.O. boxes. But right now, it's up on the screen now. Right now, that P.O. box should be fine. But like within a week or two, we're going to change. We're changing it to something a little closer, because we have to drive like an hour out of our way to get to that one. And this was before we moved to where we live now. So we're still accepting donations for that. That would be great if you want to help, if you can. And once we reach our goal, then we're gonna shut that down, and it's just going to be normal donation information after that. So if you want to donate, that's all the information. All of it's repeated in the description below. But I wanted to make mention of that. A lot of times I kind of forget to. It's not something I really love talking about. But if you want, we still could use donations for that if you're interested. All right, I'm trying to think. That might be the last thing. Yeah, so the frequency of my videos are going to go down a little bit for a little while, but it's not going to be forever. And I'm sure you noticed too, the past couple of weeks, I haven't really been posting much, but a couple of weeks before that, the videos I've been doing have been more produced. They, 2 angles, better editing, more B-roll, more stuff like that. The quality of the videos has gone up. I'm using, this video isn't like that, but in those ones I'm using a teleprompter, so I'm not stuttering as much. A lot more polished. I'm going to get back to doing those all the time. But for now, until I can get this book out, it's probably going to be like this a couple times a week, maybe. Yeah, so that's why. So with all of this stuff, more than anything else, please keep us all in prayer. I believe all of this stuff is going to turn out to be really good. Of course, there's some nervousness with it because, again, just the financial stuff. And if you're a guy and you're the head of your household, you understand you have a very unique responsibility, pressure even, that you probably don't talk to your family about. If I'm kind of like that because you want to, that's your burden, like so me as the man of the household, the head of the household, that's my burden to carry. I don't put that on my family. And I'm also not going to make things sound better than they are if things were really bad. They're not horrible or anything, but there is just a little tiny bit of concern. But again, I fully believe God will provide. It's going to be fine. But please keep us in prayer for that. That's really important. If you can help, that'd be great. But everybody can pray, at least. Even if you don't like me and you think all my videos are garbage, just at least for the sake of my family, just pray. Just pray that God leads us. Pray that God gives us wisdom and shows us exactly what he wants us to do and all that. And by the way, with all of this stuff, I don't have any plans on moving out of Oklahoma or anything like that. So this isn't like we got to find a new house now. It's nothing like that. We plan on staying here. We have found a place that works extremely well for us. It's basically everything that we've always wanted in a place. We have no intentions of leaving, so we're staying here unless God directs us otherwise. But I right now I'm not seeing that. So yeah, okay. I guess that's all the updates. All right. I'll let you go now, but I appreciate you sticking with me through the whole video. And yeah, so I hope everything's going well on your end. Please feel free to comment, reach out. But yeah, in our lives, me and my family, all is good. Everybody's happy, healthy, and we want to keep it that way. So just keep us in prayer. All right, guys. Well, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. And until next time, take care and God bless. If you've enjoyed this video, you are a renegade to the satanic beast system running the world right now. For more information the enemy doesn't want you knowing about, come visit us at dailyrenegade.com for full, uncensored videos and access to an amazing community of like-minded believers. Memberships are only $10 a month or $100 a year, and if you can do it, I suggest getting the $100 a year because it's cheaper in the long run. You essentially get 2 months for free that way. The link again is dailyrenegade.com, which you can find in the description below. We'll see you there.